And good evening, everybody, on this Wednesday. It is November 3rd already, and we are into the final week of the regular season and district play for these Menard Eagles. Week 10.
Week 10.
Can you believe that?
It's happened so fast. Everything came so quick this year, man.
Didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Man, it just seems like it just started, back in August.
It did.
And we were doing the jamborees and getting this up and running, and it's been a lot of fun.
It has
JC and Coach Scully. As Coach Scully has joined us over the last couple of weeks, become a regular.
Bad luck.
No, I wouldn't say that, Coach.
No, definitely not that.
I mean, we're 2-7 on the year, and you've only been a regular for a couple of weeks.
Fair enough.
Man, but I tell you, we've won 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
One was a blowout at homecoming for Pickering. And I wasn't here for that one, so I didn't get to call that game, 51-0. But then the one that we did win against Pineville, a huge win,
Yeah.
5A school coming in here, and we beat them soundly.
Yeah.
Was it 33-7, something like that?
Something like that, or 33-12 maybe, 32-12.
Could be. We'll give them a couple extra points.
There you go.
But that was an exciting game to call. But I gotta say, even though we did not end up on the right side of the score.
Mm-hmm.
That had to be one of the most exciting games that I called this year, and I say that because we were in it, from the very beginning, and it was tight, and it was just one of those games that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And we had them, 17-6 going into the fourth quarter, and it just didn't turn out for us.
Yeah.
In that way, it had to be kind of really emotional on the sidelines after that. The guys just played their hearts out.
Yeah, it was an emotional game from start to finish, man. Our kids came out, and I told them before the game, in the pregame speech, I just told them, I said, guys, I got a gut feeling we're going to win a football game right now because of the way we prepared all week. I really thought last week we came out with a lot of focus and intensity, and we talked about our expectations, and they wanted to meet those expectations. And they came out every snap and did that last week. And so just throughout that game, it was emotional because, we knew that if we got that win, it would have set us pretty good for the playoffs. That were kind of where we kind of wanted to fall. And, it was pretty emotional going in. And then right after the game, it was definitely emotional because you see those guys, they gave everything that they had. They had no quit in them, man. And then, right there, the second or third last play of the game, it felt like we won the game. We catch a touchdown pass that got called back, and so the emotional highs and lows were there. But for the most part, our kids kept some good composure throughout the game because we did fall behind 6-0 early in the game, and then we came back and won. Came back and had a 14-6 lead right there at half, and really jumped up 17-6 right there at the end of the third quarter, like you said, and it was just an emotional game. So the highs and lows of the game was definitely there, and our kids wanted to win, and the execution is there. But this week we're coming out to fight the same way.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk a little bit later in the show about this week. We've got Glen Oaks traveling to Baton Rouge on tomorrow. Actually, I got to tell you, it was kind of shocking because the whole week I've been saying, oh yeah, we're going on Friday, and then something hit me yesterday, and I looked at it, I was looking at the schedule that we had.
Yeah.
In fact, I was looking at this one right here. Let's see, where is it? Menard's schedule, and I'm sitting there going, November 3rd.
That's not a.
Wait a minute, November 3rd. What's up with that? Wait, that's today's the 2nd. I said November 3rd when we opened, but November 3rd. That's a Thursday.
That's Thursday.
Man, I started getting nervous because everything was planned around Friday, and it's like, oh man, what a mistake that would have been, huh?
Yeah. I'd have
been sitting at home. Everybody going to watch.
Doug would have had a good time on that one.
Oh, wouldn't he? We would have had to do it old style, like when they used to do the baseball games.
Right.
And they would hit sticks and pretend like I was there at the game. Get somebody to call me, and I could watch them as they're filming it on their phone and make the call. But no, so tomorrow night, short week, short turnaround. I thought, the kids came out of it relatively healthy. We did have, and you just confirmed it was Cody Lyons had a little ankle sprain, but you said he's back.
Yeah, he's back. He's 100%. He's back to where he's supposed to be in the lineup, and he's good to go.
You talked about the kids leaving it. You want the kids to leave it all on the field. I mean, that's what you've been asking for all year long.
Yeah.
And for the most part, we got that sometimes. We didn't get that some others.
Yeah.
But you certainly got it against the Warriors, last Friday.
We did, and we as a staff, we set some different types of expectations on our kids, expectations that they wanted to meet, and so we put it on film, we talked to them about it on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, and we held them to those standards, to those expectations on a consistent basis. If it was not good enough, if it wasn't their own standard, we weren't going to let them get away with that rep, and so do it again until everybody gets it right, because that's what you set that standard for. So we did that, and we did the same thing this week, and we were pretty tough on the guys, still loving on our kids, but we're still tough on them, and at the end of the game, our kids will know what I'm talking about, but they earned some respect from us, because of the way they came out and played and set their own expectations and met those expectations up until right there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the defense came out and stuffed them, and we'll show some highlights, but we can kind of talk about the two different halves. It was kind of the halves kind of flipped on us.
It did.
Because that first half, man, the defense was rocking, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were stopping them. They were getting penetration and knocking them down for tackles for a loss, behind the line of scrimmage. I had us down for about 266 yards of official stats of offense to their 90. Mm-hmm. And that showed. It was 17 or 14 unanswered points. Actually could have had more because the first drive ended in a missed field goal.
Right. But
we moved the ball, good 30, 40 yards. But we were just stopping them. And just talk about that first half.
Well, the biggest thing for us were the keys that we preached to them all week, and they had to play assignment football, which is something that's hard to do anytime you play in a split-back veer team. And they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. We also took the ball out of the quarterback's hand, which we felt like was the better of the three running backs, because against the Vols, he put up 21 points by himself. So when we watched that film against the Vols, we knew that we had to do that. So we felt like the six guys in the box, we're going to focus on the dive. The two outside, the eagle and the strong safety focus on the quarterback, and we rallied the pitch. So we preached that all week. And that's what we did. We did a great job of that in the first half. Probably one of the most physical games I've seen our two linebackers play, David and Cooper, as far as hitting the guy every time. I mean, the other defensive lineman did the same thing. But when I'm telling you, David Roberts made some plays on defense that I thought was unbelievable. But it's easy when that's your only key. And so they play faster. And when we play faster, we play better. And so, it's that's probably the best defensive game we've played all year, even the two games we won. When you're playing that kind of offense and you only have 5 days to prepare for it, and they played at that speed. And like Coach said, that was our expectations going in, and that's what we preached all week. And we played full speed all week, and we even put pads on Thursday, which is normally a walkthrough day. So when we finished on Thursday, we felt like we were the best we were prepared all year, and it showed on the game Friday night. It just didn't show on the scoreboard.
Right, and in the second half, it kind of flipped on us, where they had 175 yards to our 60. So it was just a tale of two halves. Mm-hmm. Was it just a matter of we weren't able to play as fast, maybe because they were kind of getting tired? They're still playing hard, though.
Well, I mean, I don't think that changed. We continue to play hard. We made two mistakes. We let the guy get outside one time. They ran a straight speed option. They pitched it to the tailback. We all had the correct reads. We just came inside on the outside instead of staying outside and filtering it back in. And then the pass over the middle, where we didn't have anybody deep over the middle. And they busted us on the coverage breakdown. And, that happens. And, that was really their only two plays the entire game. So all of those yards, if you think about it, they had that long run and they had that long pass play. That was probably about
116 yards total.
Yeah. So that was Besides that, the rest of the time it was 60 yards of offense for the 4 series that they had in the second half.
Well, that's true, because the last 2 drives for them ended in touchdowns at 62 and 64 yards.
Yep.
That's where all their 100, 20, 30 yards came from, at that rate. And then just offensively, it just seemed to slow down a little bit. But offensively, our highlights, by the way, not just clips but highlights, are all from the first half. I didn't go into the second half and grab anything, but we've got some good defensive and offensive highlights just to kind of show how the game went for us, especially in that first half.
Right.
But, just talk a little bit about, you guys came out in a different set, on offense. You had some people in there that weren't typically in the offense before. I saw Carter Marcantel came out and ran the ball a little bit, and then we had
David Roberts.
David Roberts at like a tight end spot, and Cooper. Of course, we've seen him, but heck, Roberts almost had I think it was Roberts almost had the touchdown pass.
Yeah. That's a whole different story. That knucklehead.
he laid out for it.
Yeah, offensively, we came out in a little bit of different set. A lot of bit of different set off of what we've been doing all year. We just felt that would give us a little bit of advantage against those guys, and it was definitely good for us. I mean, we were able to play downhill a lot more, a lot faster. Because we're not our kids know, everybody knows we're not the fastest team in the country by no means, and so but it allows us to play faster when we're able to do those types of things. And so we got in there, man, and played downhill football even on the offensive side of the ball, and just tried to get as much as we can every snap. If it's 3 yards in the cloud of dust, we'll take those 3 yards. And if we were able to pop a 60-yard, a 60-yard, a 40-yard run, we'll take those too.
And we got a couple of 30s.
We
John
did.
Tavia's had a
we
night. Did.
So, but you see those guys in there, man, and those guys just wanted it, and we set expectations on that side of the ball as well, and just was like, hey, this is what you guys said. This is how fast you said you wanted to play, so we're gonna play this fast every stinking snap, and that's what our kids did, man. The first half we came out and did some solid things. We were able to adjust off of what they were doing, and in the second half they made a really good adjustment. They bumped the corner inside the box and let him be the guy that fold in on top of one of our plays whenever they saw Braylon Dusang pull. And so that kind of hurt us a little bit. And I take full blame for some of the lack of adjustment right there in that fourth quarter because I didn't see that until late, and it's our first time running that offense. And so the formational adjustments kind of hurt us a little bit. And so but that was just a lack. But, even right there at the end of the game, we had a shot at winning. We just got to make the plays and at the end of the day, it's about blocking, tackling, and making the plays, catching the football, all those types of things. We didn't do that consistently. And finishing.
Finishing the game, finishing the drive, finishing a play.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we talked about on the air. Was finishing. We had that drive. First of all, we covered the onside kick, which would be the first highlight that we kind of show, and then we drove it down. And then we just kind of stalled. We tried to get the field goal and just pushed it a little left.
Right.
But that was a finish that if we'd have done, at least got the points or maybe even put it in the end zone. If the kids were able to execute it, different story maybe, at the end. But that's a good recap. We'll come back and we'll take a look at the highlights. I didn't break it down by offense or defense. It's just going to be one after the other, kind of like how the game went. Okay. And we'll just follow the game and both y'all comment as we see it. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after these commercial breaks. And this is the Eagles Nest Coaches Show with head coach Justin Charles on 446sports.com.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Cenla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
And we are back live out at the Eagles Nest. We have been out here on the front porch now for about 4 or 5 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks, man, and it's great weather.
It is. I mean, it could be a little bit cooler, but we just got to remember, that we have to pull this down.
We will.
Probably this, after this one.
Yeah.
Before we get into the highlights, I just wanted to ask you, we were sitting at number 24, 24 out of 24. But after that, I kind of looked at Go Sports, or what is it?
Go Preps.
Go Preps. They had dropped us to 27.
Yeah.
Bunkie sitting at 26, and then you got a couple of schools 25 and 24.
St. Thomas Aquinas, but
what's it?
It's about 80. It's about 80. A little bit higher percentage chance, about 80% chance. We win, we get in.
Is that what it? Oh,
yeah.
All right.
So because we got the PowerPoints. We get this win, we get the PowerPoints for beating the 3A school. We get their wins, we get our wins, and it's going to depend on a couple other factors in there too. But right now, we just got to win. We got to handle our business.
When I was looking at it with Glen Oaks and going in to see, and saw that their record's the same as ours. They're 2-7 as well. I saw that they were 3A, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Some extra points for a win. For a win against a higher classification.
That's right.
So we're leaving this up.
That's right.
We're not taking that down.
Yeah, that ain't coming down.
Okay.
That ain't coming down.
I just got concerned on that when we
just
saw
had
it.
that talk with our kids. That was the last thing we talked about.
Well, good.
Before the game.
All right. Then that's a deal. We're leaving it up for next week. We'll be back out here. So we'll take a look at go up here. This is the start of the onside kick, and tries to do something here early, and hopefully the Eagles are have to say David. They do. David wasn't here. Lewis filled in. I think he did a good job, but he had to get used to it. I just want to thank him for the kick. A roster. We don't actually letting us in to see the press box tonight and giving us a space. He's been great. Here's a kick, and it is an onside kick, and we are told to go attack it, and the Eagles do. Great job. So we keep this on the loop just to kind of watch it. But were you expecting an onside kick? I mean, did you feel that coming?
Yeah, they do more onside kicks than they do deep kickoffs. They're not as much as Avoyelles. They're not as nearly as much as Avoyelles does, but they do a lot of onside kicks, especially early in the game, first half type things when they score early. They just try to get a lead on you and try to break your back as soon as possible, kind of like Avoyelles. But we were expecting it, so that's what we stayed in that front as much as we possibly can all week. And we prepared for that, just like we got to prepare for it again this week. They're going to onside kick a little bit this week again, so. It was definitely something we worked on.
Well, and the reason why I was kind of talking about it as we got ready for the kickoff, and you kind of heard a little bit of it as the video started. I was trying to tell Lewis to be ready for the onside kick, and you can tell Lewis went to go follow the football and then had to come back. But I kind of thought after teams watched that Avoyelles film and the onside kicks that occurred there, maybe they would try to see if the guys had gotten more comfortable trying to cover.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I would test this as well.
Yeah.
That's why I tell my kids all the time. If somebody else beats us in something, I would try it again too. See if we adjusted and fixed it.
Keep going until you prove that it's been fixed.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. That's the general rule. And they're going to give it to Jontavius Hargrove. He picks it up. Got the first down. Huge play by JC Justin Charles. Well, you just made the first down there, Justin. I just gave you credit for that.
I know. How did I get the first down? He said that was a huge play by Justin Charles. Man,
it was a huge play call.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get that word out.
If I was out there running the ball, I'd still be buried under that dirt right there. My body's too old for that. They hit me that hard, I'm going to just lay there and cry.
But I tell you, it was a gutsy call, fourth and what, three, I think it was at the time. And you made the call to give it to Hargrove. And they pick it up. I mean, that was just a straight challenge to the team? Or?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Because at that point, we were in this offense, and we talked about if we can't get 3-4 yards, then what are we running this offense for? And so every down we want to get 3 yards. We want to get 4 yards if we possibly can. But John Tavis, look, the offensive line does a great job. I don't know if anybody really noticed. Last Friday night, we ran behind Braylon Dusang and Gage Osher and that whole half of the line probably 80% of the time, and those guys did a great job, man. I know they were tired because Dusang had to turn around and play defense, and we just ran behind them, and John and Cooper and Carter, those guys did a heck of a job out there blocking, man, and it was all night.
Well, and one thing you noticed there, number 3 at quarterback, that was a change in the starting quarterback job, and Jake pretty much earned it the rest of the night. I think there was only one series that you brought Michael Henry in, but then went back to Jake, and he stayed there the whole night. I thought Jake handled it well.
Yeah. Jake's he's a young guy that has some really good composure about himself, and his future's bright. He's still young. He still makes a little bit of mistakes, but he's learning as he goes. So we're going to continue to work both guys.
It's going to be a third. We'll call it 3, a long 3. Vaughn is under center, as you can see, as the picture is behind.
They're in the T formation, 3 running backs.
That's Cooper Scott in the middle, and they're going to give it to John Tavies. He's got the outside, now cut it up, run it north and south, got the first down inside the 25 to the 20. This is a great start for the It is a great start as we got it down, into and around the red zone right here. And, again, running north and south. You talked about it.
Yeah, no doubt. If you look right here, I think you can see Braylon Dusang Poole right there. He's the right guard. And we're just kicking out behind him, man. He's going to flush everything outside for us. And the running backs, we want him to hit it inside. But if he has the opportunity to bounce it, we let him bounce it if the end is sealed off. So they do a great job. Offensive line is just mashing those guys. And obviously, Oakdale was not expecting us to come out in this offense, but we came out and we executed it.
Yeah, and I was just going to see. I was trying to find that pause button. It wasn't there just to try to follow. You can see Dusang just pull right there. 78, he just knocked him down.
Yeah.
Right there. There's a highlight. I think it's in here where Gage Oser, carries out a block all the way, through the whole play. Yeah. And they both end up on the ground. So they're down to we got here. Here's the kick on this first drive. 21-yard field goal. The kick is up. Oh, it looks great. Oh, and he pushed it left, Lewis. So from up there, of course, our angle, all of them almost look good, until you see the officials. But from your vantage point, as the special teams is out there and Ryan's kicking it, what do you see, or do you see anything that he, is there a little mechanical issue that pushes it, or what happens?
I honestly think he just pushed it wide on that one. We still have some blocking issues up front, but that wasn't a factor here. I think it was just more of an opportunity for him, or a lack of opportunity for him to turn completely on the ball. He just kept his foot open, his kick foot open a little bit too long, and never really turned on the ball.
Okay, so that's almost like a golfer, I guess, because he's not pulling all the way through.
Yeah,
just leaves it out a little bit.
Correct, and that's all it was. And he knew it as soon as he hit it, and he came over there and told me. I said, well, what happened? Because the kick looked good, and he said, well, Coach, I left my foot open too long. So I said, I get it. Okay, we'll come back to you.
And and you did. Yeah. He ended up getting one of them. And Coach Scully, feel free to join in here anytime.
Hey, I'm just watching. I'm just thinking about all these plays as we were watching, where we were, and and the excitement on the sideline of just these guys moving the ball down the field and giving us an opportunity to even get a field goal on that first series.
So this one, of course, one of the things about that, I want to pause this real quick before we get going on it, but. The kick by missing and going in the end zone, it's like a punt.
Correct.
So it came out to the 20, and so they had moved the ball to this location on the field near midfield, which we're right there. And if I'm not mistaken, we're looking at a 3rd and 1. I do like. We got to get one of those.
I know,
don't
that's
know
fancy.
how expensive.
Look, my chain crew talks to me about that all the time, so I got to get one for Buck Evans next year. There's no doubt about it.
I'm telling you, man, it was so great with my old eyes. There's no missing what down it was. But anyway, so we'll keep an eye on this. Here you go. This Coach Scully, your defense comes up with a big stop on 3rd and 1. Elijah Anderson. And they're going to hand it off, and he's coming around the edge. Oh, and they got him. They're going to drop him for about a 3-yard loss. Deuce Kirk made it back there.
Again,
So
that's one of those plays where they didn't block David, and we knew that they were not going to get to the second level, and we told David, and that was some of the keys we talked about all week about reading that play side A gap. And if he shot the gap correctly, then he would be there, along with Carter coming up and setting the edge. And then also you got Deuce Kirk right there getting inside and playing that 6 tech, which, again, we were hard on those guys all week, and they came to play. And on this particular down, they did. And you'll see them, they shooting their gaps, setting the edge. And then, of course, we make that play, and we stuff them for a loss right there on a 3rd and short.
So when you say Deuce, Deuce was right there. Let's back it up right here just a hair, and then we'll play it. Deuce is that first down lineman. He's on all fours right now.
That's
He's
correct.
going to get up into a 3-point stance.
Yep.
And then going. When you say a 6 tech, tell the folks what you're talking about.
Well,
there.
he's head up on the tight end. So that's what we call a 6 tech, and he knows he's got to play the C gap. So he got inside of the tight end who tried to block out on Carter. The problem with Carter is he knows he's reading that tight end, so he knows if the tight end goes to block out on him that he's going to be there to set that edge, and he actually beat the tight end to the edge, and then that leaves Deuce unblocked, and so by the time the guard pulls to kick, Deuce is already in the backfield, and so was David, and then Carter sitting the edge. So you basically have one guy trying to block, really not blocking either guy. So that's what happened with the tight end.
So was Roberts number 25 hitting the B gap and cutting through there?
He's actually hitting the play side A, which is right between the center and the guard on the play side of the ball once it's handed off.
Well, that was a great play, and it was a 2-yard loss. I think they only gave him a 1-yard loss, but it looked like 2 to me.
Yeah.
But they decided to punt rather than go for it. So then we got the ball back, and they stopped us for no gain. Maybe 5 yards or 6 yards, and we had to punt back. Mm-hmm. And then we have this run on their second possession. With pretty decent field position, that punt really helped them. The handoff is up the middle. Boy, he's got a hole. He's going to get to the outside. Number 2, Cody Lyons, was blocked. Jaden Lewis with a really weak start to his tackle, and then hangs with him and is brought down at the 22. Kind of caught Jaden almost backpedaling, and then he was able to grab him and hang on. But that was one of the runs that you were talking about earlier, that straight kind of dive run that we're trying to key on.
Yeah, and there's several factors in that. And, again, we always and we tell everybody, if you just do your job. In that particular case, the tackle gets to Cooper Scott, and you can see him getting turned around. But the backside outside backer is supposed to shuffle across when play goes away, and you can see Maddox Shelton stayed out a little bit too long. And then the guy runs right by him right there, and he's supposed to fall back in on the play. Again, that was a cutback play, and that's a great play they run out of that split back set. And that play we were concerned about, and they busted us twice for 2 long runs on that, which we were prepared for it. Again, we knew they would give up we would give up a few plays, and they're a good team, and they do a great job of running those plays. But right there, that's what happened. Cooper got caught up with the tackle. Shelton doesn't shuffle back in to fall back in on that play, and then they bust that for probably, 30 or 40 yards right there, I guess.
Yeah, that was a big run, and after slowing it down and taking a look at it, I said a weak start to the tackle, but that was only because he was trying to catch the edge and cut him back inside, and then was able to stop and turn around and grab him. It was actually a great play by Jaden to be able to grab him and hang on to him and bring him down. So we'll stop there, and we'll come back. I think, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 highlights, and we'll have a few more when we come back. So we'll take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after these messages. This is the Eagles Nest Coaches Show with head coach Justin Charles on 446sports.com.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors. Apparel.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
All right, and we're going to come back live out here at the Coaches Show, and I think I need to stop that real quick. We'll come back here, and then we're going to hit that, take that off, and now we'll hit the highlight, and we'll just show it right here, Coach. Let's make sure I get some audio.
Oh, boy, he's got a hole.
Oh, wait,
he's going to get to the
I don't
outside.
want to see that one again,
Number 2, Cody Lyons.
We already saw that one. Here we go.
31. That's a new number. Branson Buller.
3rd and 4. This is in. Let's see what they do. 3rd and 4. I put this in here. Penetration. Oh, right there.
Man, oh man. Come on.
That was so.
That was.
That's just
you should hear him, man.
51.
He said, "Man, oh man, come on."
Oh man, come on. Because
what do you think we're saying?
I know. I know you had to be saying that. You know, I mean, we don't have to watch it too long, but. You know, we were talking about it, and I kind of put it in there just in case the kids are watching and come and watch. I know they've seen the film already. Y'all have gone through it, but it's just that playing clean.
Yeah.
You know, and you had a 3rd and 4 with a great opportunity there, and the excitement for Deuce, he just jumps the gun there.
Yeah, and you said something earlier, too. We want to play clean, and I think we only had 3 penalties in this game. So for the most part, we played a clean game. But right here, you know, that's just a lack of discipline is what we call it. Whenever, you know, a defensive lineman jumps off sides, not keying the ball, not keying the offensive lineman. And we just got to be smarter right there in those situations. And we knew, you know, that quarterback does a great job with hard counts. And we even talked to the officials before pregame, and you can see right there that quarterback's he's jabbing his head, you know, and that's a great sell. So.
Yeah, and you know some penalties are, I guess you'd say, better than others, even though you know they're all bad. But when they come at key points, you know that keep the drive alive. Because here you are, you know they don't really have much of a kicker, and maybe if you get that stop, you know you're going to stop them on 4th and get the ball and keep them out of the end zone. But it kind of came back to bite as we get started. First play of the 2nd down and 8 from the 9-yard line and just beyond the 9. And he's got the quarterback kept the football. He's got a big hole, broke tackles in the end zone. So, Coach Scully, that's what you were talking about as well. You know, when we were talking earlier about keeping that quarterback at bay, and we did a really good job of that for most of the game. It was just one play that he got away from us,
and that was actually the only play where he had any yards, positive yardage on that. And that, you know, big guy. I mean, give him credit. That kid's about 6'3". They had senior night, so they were on the field when we were. So to see him. Big kid out there, and you know, it's one of those things where you just we break down on our assignment. Outside backer is supposed to have quarterback. He comes inside and he just goes right around him. Quarterback goes right around him, and we don't make the play. And you know, when you're short and goal to go, and you know, you really got to bear down and really do your job. And right there, we just had a little breakdown in assignment.
Yeah, so that's just a matter of eye discipline, you know, at that point, because they're faking it, you know, to the and pulling it. Is that kind of an RPO type of thing that they're running, or
they're straight veer?
Yeah, straight veer.
It's
option.
all veer option.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, but he's pulling it and faking it, and then we took the fake and he got to the outside.
Sure.
So that put him up. We did have a big stop on the 2-point conversion.
Yes, that was huge.
And kept them at 6 points. And then we got the football back, and this is when things started to really rock and roll for the drive here. Here's a handoff to Kirk. John Tavis Hargrove's got the outside. See if he can burn on the speed. He's at the 40. Cuts back. That's a face mask. The drive here. Here's a handoff. So we're going to watch that, but I want to ask you, when y'all were on the sideline, was that a face mask or was it just a grab of the –
He grabbed the inside of his shoulder pads. Initially, when you look at it, because we thought the same thing, and when he started going down, when he turns him right there, we can see where his hand was. And so we were screaming face mask at first, and then we saw where his hand was. But, no, that play right there, that again, if you notice, we're running behind Braylon Dusang and those guys on that side of the line. We were flipping our line, and Dusang does a great job kicking out. I mean, and we just wash it down and look.
Yeah,
you got guys blocking 5-6 yards down the field, man, and that's what we want. We like we said earlier, we challenged our kids: run your feet on the blocks. You better win the double teams. You better finish your blocks. If somebody's gonna make a tackle, they better be making a tackle while they're getting blocked, unless it's in the secondary. And right there, the secondary guy tackles them, and so that's what we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to stop it and look at the pocket.
Yeah.
That's forming right there with the blockers that Hargrove has, and then they even follow it up, as you said, hitting the cornerback and giving him the outside to be able to come in. You know, eventually I corrected myself on that because I was like, "There's nobody going crazy on the sideline for a face mask, so it must not have been."
Yeah.
So Hargrove again, another big run. Same thing and pitch it to Hargrove. He's going to give it. He's got a hole, breaking the boy. Hargrove running hard to the outside, carrying Warriors. Just hang on to the football, and he's way down inside. That was one thing that I really liked, is the fact that the football was held tightly, you know, by everybody. No turnovers at all in the game for the Eagles.
Yeah, and that's huge, man. You said it earlier. We won the turnover battle. We didn't win the game, but we did win the turnover battle. I don't know. We're not looking for moral victories, but that is a victory. John Tavis Hargrove, I'll tell you this right now, nobody knew that. We knew he had some heart, but, man, the way that kid showed up that night, we were like, let's feed him and keep feeding him and keep feeding him, him and Cooper Scott, and every now and then Carter Markentale, man, those guys, man, they did a great job. And the offensive line obviously opens up the lanes for him, but it takes some heart to sit in there and you know, that little hole that he went through, man, it's a tight window, and he hits it tight, and he stays in there, and he's running his feet, pumping his legs, and he did that for the entire game and made it tough for those guys to even want to tackle him, and that's what we want. Once you get to that secondary level, that third level pretty much, then therefore those defensive backs don't want to tackle you. That's how hard we want you to run.
Well, that's
John
right.
Tavis did that.
Yep, and you could see his feet, you know, even shifting, going left and right, you know, on a dime. I mean, it was really good to see. And then, of course, he's playing defensive end.
Yeah, he turned around and played defensive end.
And making plays over there as well. So
he don't get no breaks on defense. We don't give him. If you're gonna take a break, you're gonna take a break on offense, buddy.
Yeah, he was. It was good to see. It was good to see Roberts out there too.
Yeah.
So this led us into the first touchdown.
Well, the big hole that Cooper had on that play, they keep that up, and they're going to be gaining a lot of yards on the ground tonight.
Up the middle is Cooper Scott. Could be in the end zone. Touchdown! Eagles tie the game at 6 with Cooper Scott. So, I mean, that was just a straight dive with Cooper.
Yeah, that was just a straight-up ISO play. But, look, you know what? Look at the guy leading them. You know, we got our 5'2" midget running it, Carter Marcantel. And Coach, you know, I love the way Coach Scully coaches this kid. You know, we coach this kid probably tougher than anybody else on the team, and he lives up to the challenge every single day, for the most part at least. You know, I can't give him too much credit because we're going to be on his tail again tomorrow. But he got in there and he just stuffed his nose in there and just helped the hole up, opens up 6 inches, and just does a great job. But the offense line gets some good solid push right there, and we want to try to, you know, we use the word demoralize and punish the defensive front, and that's what we did on that play. We punished them. We made them not want anymore. But my favorite part of this play right there is when you go back. When we score, look at the excitement by our kids, man. That's just huge, you know, and you love the kids, and that's their passion. You know, just look at them. Everybody, they throw their hands up, you know, they're jumping up, and you'll see 41 here in a second come out there and just like, that kid's pumped up. He's fired up, man, and that's what we want, man. That's fun. We're having a good time. He's getting his sideline up. The sideline's already up, and it was just fun.
Well, and that's what we talked about, too. When Ryan Hicks came on with the extra point, and it was 7-6.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, man, it's great that we've got the lead. You know, I had in the first half. We hadn't been able to say that, you know,
exactly.
a whole lot, but it sure felt good. And it felt good to see the kids excited, too.
Oh, yeah. And it was awesome, man, because, you know, Scully won't admit it. You know, he's kind of like me. We try to play it cool all the time. But, man, we were fired up on that sideline because – that's the type of football we wanted to play. We challenged our kids to play mean, nasty football, and we road grinded right there.
Well, and I know Carter, coach, has been on you, let me play offense. Let me play offense.
Several of them have been doing that. So they got all they wanted Friday night. They
yes,
did.
They did.
And they probably want more.
They did. And you know, to think we're in week 9 and we've got 3 and 4 guys cramping up is because those guys got to play both ways. So they're over there cramping up, but they didn't want to come out. And they knew if they came out, they wasn't going back in. So, matter of fact, Carter Marcantel thought he had a cramp until I looked at him and said a few words to him, and he went on back in the huddle.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You know, Carter Marcantel, we just did it. I think it was after it wasn't this drive. It was in the after the field goal drive that we scored on in the third quarter. And Carter, you know, he had just played the whole offense, and he's, you know, we're about to go back out there on defense after he's already on kickoff, and he starts stretching, and he looks at Coach Scully. He's like, Coach, I think I'm about to cramp. Coach Scully looks at him. No, you're not. And he's like, you're right, I'm not. I'm like, wait, you just cured cramps.
Right.
This guy just cured cramps by saying, no, you're not. So that's what we're going to do for the rest of the year. For every year now, just say, no, you're not. And
mind over matter.
Mind over matter.
If you don't mind not playing, then Carter, it don't matter.
Carter didn't check up one bit. He said, you're right, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. So here goes Hargrove one more time. Let's see if we can get Red River Bank and still be able to get some money to the kids if you want to. So here's the handoff to Hargrove, and he's got to hang on to the football. They're going to, and they're dragging him. He's trying to get inside the 5. He's going to make it to the 5. We don't have to stay on this one long, but I put this one in there just to show. I mean, he had been running hard the whole time. And I mean, he's just dragging people. You can see the team get behind and start to push, and just pushing that crowd.
Yeah,
all the way down.
Look, we even did some illegal stuff. You're allowed to push. You're not allowed to pull. But our guys wanted to score, so they're pulling, man. You go back and rewind that. Our kids wanted. To me, that was just awesome, man. Week 9 of the season. You know, at that point, we were 1-7.
There's the puller right there.
2-6. I mean, we're just pulling. We're pushing. We're trying to get in the end zone, man, and that's fun football right there. And our kids loved it, and so we were just having a good time, man. And our kids are passionate. And look, they got somebody limping off. Hey, that's what we want. Punish them. Make them not want no more.
And then this one right here. Well, I wanted this one bad. I'm sure
Hopefully gets the ball to start
Vaughn and Roberts
did
run
this
too.
clock out.
Here's a pass. He's wide open if he can hit him, and he throws it. Caught. Oh my goodness! Had it set up.
I'm gonna let Coach Scully talk about this.
You know, the most interesting thing about this is the rivalry that David and the competitiveness that David and Cooper have as linebackers. So all week we've thrown it to Cooper. And as you can see, Cooper's in the air, right? His feet are in the air because David has an opportunity to catch the ball right here. So he's so excited that David gets an opportunity, and then right at the end he drops it. And, nobody took it harder than David. And you can see Cooper, he's still trying to jump up and down thinking he's got it. And, I know he probably said it's okay, but he probably said something else to him because of the rivalry that those two guys and the way they push each other. And you can't help but laugh about it. And I could feel his passion at the end of the game, knowing that he felt like, he let his team down by dropping it. But that's a play that, this is the first pass he's been first pass thrown to him all year. So for him to have this opportunity, and we worked it several times during the week. So during the week, he caught it. Of course, we threw it right to him on the run, and just like it is, he's wide open.
Yeah.
Here he's got to make a little stretch for it. He can't make the stretch, but the C. Cooper jumping up and down tells a story of how bad he wanted his partner to catch it, even though they get on each other a little bit and have fun, and it's all in fun. Yeah. But at the end, David, man, he felt so bad. He was upset about it at the end of the game, just thinking that he cost us a game. But that was definitely not the case. But I love to see, and I watched that too and saw Cooper jumping up and down. But it was pretty neat to how he embraced him after he dropped it.
Because Cooper at that point, if he'd have caught that ball, Cooper probably would have went up to you and said, "Great catch," but I still would have made the catch better, something like that. But just knowing Cooper after that play probably would say, "Hey, we're gonna have another shot at it."
Yeah,
it was something like that.
Wide open.
Because those two guys, they're so competitive with each other. Because like Coach said, there are two starting inside linebackers, man, and those two guys they push each other to the max, man. And it was just awesome, like Coach said, to see him, jumping up, being excited for his teammate. Because Cooper knows if the ball's not thrown to me, that means David's wide open. So that's why he's jumping.
Right.
He's jumping for his teammate and the excitement that it's about to happen.
Well, and we know David can catch. He's got one or two interceptions on the year.
Sure,
he does.
Absolutely.
But those came right to him.
Right.
This one was a stretch. I mean, it was up there.
Sure.
He had his hands on it at the beginning. I was really hoping he'd pull that in.
Yep.
74. 154 yards of offense in the last two drives for the Eagles. Boy, they got the quarterback. Oh, that's a lateral. We can get the football. It'll be Eagle football as he threw it backwards. So this was a huge play at the end of the second quarter. I mean, we're still looking at 7-6 right now, and they've got the football, and the defense just gets all over the quarterback, and he makes a silly play. Trying to get the ball out, but it goes backwards. And fortunately, we recognize that, Coach.
Right. Well, and again,
ball.
this is the play that we had a little bit of a difference on who was going to go to the quarterback. So they spread us out a little bit, and so that forces our outside backer to go out on the number 2 receiver. So what Cooper realized when he came around the corner that the quarterback had the ball, so Cooper attacks him. And he wasn't prepared for it. And when he goes to pitch it, the running back is nowhere to be found. And that was the only time they actually pitched it, except for in the second half when they scored on the straight option. But right here, on the speed option. But right here, Cooper surprises him, so he goes to pitch it, and nobody's there. So he didn't expect Cooper. He was thinking that he was going to have a little bit longer because our guy was out there that normally had him. Was being blocked. So he never expected to get hit. When he got hit, he just panicked and pitched it to the grass. And of course, we scooped. And this is with 10 seconds left on the clock before half.
It sure was. And that gave us time for maybe one or two plays. But this one paid off. And this is what you always want when you get a turnover, is to make the team pay for that turnover. Great job by the defense to get the football. Yeah, they're putting number 13 in place. That's Aiden Moran. They're going to hand the ball up the middle as the ball. That's a touchdown, Eagles, in the final 20 seconds.
Right there, we just ran the ISO again and gave the ball to Cooper. And again, you can see the excitement right before half. These guys, it was great to be up. And our guys have never let down, and that's what was so exciting, to get that turnover, to know that we had an opportunity to score right before half, and then to know that, everything that all the work they put in. We had a physical week of practice last week in preparation for Oakdale. So these guys had worked their tails off, and to be able to go in at halftime up, that was awesome. And it was good for them, and they were in great spirits going into halftime.
Yeah, it had to be a raucous, locker room going in there. But I like this. Watch Cooper with Aiden Moran, you know.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He grabs him. He's like, hey, bro, you're on the wrong side. Come on, freshman. He's like, hey, freshman, you get over here.
Get in position.
Yeah, it was almost like he was like, hey, no, I'm the fullback, and I'm getting this touchdown.
I'm getting the football.
I just caused this fumble.
And Cooper, I'm sure, didn't take the football over to David at all.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Eagles Nest Coaches Show. You're watching it on 446sports.com.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
The 2022 Time Dealer of the Year, Bob Giles, is now the new Hyundai dealer in Cenla. Bob earned the industry's most prestigious award out of 16,000 new car dealers nationwide.
Hi, I'm Bob Giles, and I promise our team at the all-new Giles Hyundai will do everything possible to live up to the high standards that earned us this most prestigious honor. And with the utmost enthusiasm, we greatly look forward to serving you.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
And we're coming back live at the Eagles Nest on the front porch of the man cave over in the baseball field. We got evening has set in on us, and we have our light man, Corey Holmes.
Coach Corey Holmes, offensive line coach. There we go.
Coach Holmes, offensive line coach. He comes in and he makes sure that we have proper lighting when he comes in and flips the light on. We don't think about that.
Yeah.
That's another day.
Yeah, he's our.
Yeah, it's probably for a mute.
He lets us know when there's a flood on campus. I would just say that.
So, Coach, this is the segment, and we're going to wrap it all into one as we do our final segment here as we head into the 7 o'clock hour. And as you said, in less than a little more than 24 hours and 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
We'll be kicking off in Baton Rouge at Glen Oaks.
We'll be kicking butt in Baton Rouge.
That's right. We got our last senior to highlight, Deuce Kirk. He's no longer the number that made him last for this segment.
Yeah.
But he's number 51 now because he's playing the line and playing some other positions. Had to move him to 51. So talk about Deuce. I mean, he's a guy that came in from basketball, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Deuce. He's a senior, which obviously we're talking about seniors, but Deuce is a senior that hasn't played football since his 7th grade year. Big kid. I mean, he's 6'2", about 230, 240 pounds, somewhere around there. But I mean, just an amazing kid on campus. And so ever since I got here, I always ask him and mess with him. Hey, man, you coming out to play football? He's like, I don't know, Coach. Come out to play football? I don't know, Coach. Well, he comes up to me. I don't remember when it was. It had to have been like last February, and I was like, I was shocked. He walked into my classroom, and he was like, Coach, can I talk to you about something? I said, if it ain't about you playing football, I don't want it. He's like, well, Coach, that's kind of what it's talking about. I said, okay, well, we'll talk about it after the basketball season. So as soon as basketball season, I went and hunted him down, and he was like, yeah, Coach, I want to play football, and, I do think it'll be good for me. And, look, he come out, man, and he's just one of those types of kids that, believe it or not, as a basketball player, he has some, and nothing against basketball, but he has some physicality about him to play on the defensive side of the ball. He still has his finesse things, and he knows what I'm talking about, so I ain't talking bad about him. But he has his finesse things, but that comes with him being a basketball player. But he's learned how to use his hands. He's learned how to use his footwork. And when Deuce Kirk wants to play football, he's one of the best players we got, man. And when he plays fast, you saw a couple clips with him in it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
When he plays fast, he's better than just about anybody that we have. And so it's fun to watch him grow as an athlete on the football field. And I do think football is going to help him out in basketball and watch him grow through basketball. But excuse me, one thing I've definitely learned about Deuce is he is a competitor. So he's the type of kid that you have to push. And so off the field, I've found ways to push Deuce and challenge him and just say, hey, dude, you know what? I believe in you, but there's things that I don't know if you believe in yourself about. And so that's one thing I've learned about this kid, man. He's a great kid. He's always smiling. I don't know if he has a mean bone in his body. Do you think he got a mean bone in his body, Coach?
No, he don't have a mean bone in his body.
He don't got a mean bone in his body.
You've been trying to pull it out of him.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it hadn't worked.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a mean bone in his body. He's such a nice kid, but he is very passionate about what he does. And so just learning this kid for over the past about 7 months now has been very interesting, but I wouldn't trade this kid for the world. I mean, he's a kid that's very intelligent in the classroom, on the football field. As a kid that's only come out and been with us for probably about 7 months now, he has his football knowledge and his football IQ has continued to grow. He understands. I mean, the first day he came out there, he knew what a 6-tech, 9-tech, 5-tech, 4-eye. He knew what all of that stuff was, and I was like, well, dude, you know something about football. And he's a kid that he's hungry for everything, and it's the same way in his personal life too, is what I've learned. When you talk to Deuce about those personal things, he wants to grow spiritually, he wants to grow emotionally, he wants to grow not just as an athlete, he wants to grow as a young man. And so it's been great to watch him grow up and just believe in what he believes in, and watch him grow as a young man to be, in about 4, 5, 6 years, graduating from college, then going on and being married and coming back and just supporting the Menard family and always being there. So he's just one of those type of kids. That's the future of Menard. That's who we want to be when we talk about the Menard graduates and everything. So,
Coach, on the –
Yeah, the neat thing about Deuce, and he knows this, he learned a different discipline. Basketball has a certain discipline, but football, because of the physicality of it, the discipline's different. And you could tell after about week 2 or 3 that I was not gonna change, so he was gonna have to change. And because of the way we just discipline people, and because he had to understand we were bouncing him around from D end to D tackle, because we were trying to put him in a situation to win one, and then give him an opportunity to help us on the inside. And then when Drake Aldridge went down, we put him back out at the 6 and the 5 tech where he had to play a little bit looser. So, again, that's a tough position to play when you haven't played it a lot, so your discipline has to be different. You can get caught going up the field or giving up on some plays or staying blocked. But he did all that. But the neatest thing about Deuce is being a first-year guy, he could line up our D-line, know the strength of the offense coming out of the huddle, and was more vocal than Cooper and David put together. He always would, and he still does to this day, hey, it's either a strong left, strong right, and that just tells us how to set our front. And he does that in practice, and he did it on Friday nights. And it's like it never intimidated him. And so for him to have that maturity on the football field, especially as a defensive lineman who you have to be a physical person, even more physical than a linebacker because you're being hit every play. I tip my hat to him. But what a great man he is, a great young man he is in the classroom, very respectful. Teachers love him. Students respect him. They look up to him. I look forward to seeing him how physical. I hope he don't get fouled out every game on once basketball seasons because I'm telling you he's going to be physical on that court. And so I'm excited to see him on the court now, see the difference in him.
Well, I was going to ask you that, in a sense that you talked about the physicality, but in basketball, people may not realize just how physical a game it is, especially for the big men.
That's right.
Sure.
Down low, you're constantly being pounded or you're given a pounding, to somebody, and using your body to box out to create space. And fight off to get the space when they're trying to block you from it. So,
and he's going to hit them like there's no pads.
Yeah,
and they better get ready. They better come with it because he's gonna. He's used to hitting. And we, when we go without pads on walkthrough, we're still physical and we do everything physical. So, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get my popcorn. I can't wait to get up in them stands and watch him play basketball. When the season rolls around, because he's gonna be a lot of fun this year.
We're gonna be there covering the home games with basketball, and I hope to get a chance to call. But I'd definitely be over watching some of it.
It's gonna be fun because I can see him right now. Coach, somebody's gonna try to set a pick on him, and he's gonna spill it,
or flatten him on the court.
Hey, we can't do that out here, buddy.
So, I always save this for like just a minute or two because I know you're never going to give away any secrets.
I'm going to give everything away tonight.
Yeah, you're going to pass every play.
Everything.
Pass every play. Onside kick every time.
I got to try something new.
Yeah, the thing about it is in Glen Oaks they can actually watch this because it's on the internet if they wanted to. But
Coach Champ, come on and watch it.
Glen Oaks Panthers, they're 2-8. But they're in 3A, so it will be a challenge. Anytime you go up against a higher district team, it means they're just a bigger school.
That's right,
and they got more kids to draw from. So when you look in the breakdown for this game, offensive and defensively, do we change anything?
Well, I'll say this: I like the way you speak because you just spoke that they were 2-8, and we speak through faith, right?
Right. That's
so
right
now they're 2-7, but they will be 2-8. So, look, here's what I say about those guys. Man, this is going to be a team that when our kids get off the bus and those kids walk out the locker room and we see their kids, our kids might be like, "Oh crap, coach, what in the world did you sign us up for?" Because they got some dudes, man. I mean, number 99, number 2, number 8, number 7. I mean, they've got some dudes, man. You just look at them, man, and it's like, holy crap, man, what did we sign up for? But here's what I'm going to say about our kids. Our kids are going to come out, and we're going to play harder. We're going to play longer. We're going to play more physical, and we're going to want it for 4 quarters because we want to make the playoffs, okay? I really do feel our kids are going to want it more than them tomorrow night. We're going to come out with some passion. Offensively, defensively, our defense versus their offense, I really do feel the matchup is great for us. But we're going to have to play some very good disciplined football because they have some guys that if we don't make the tackles in space, they can go 88 to the gate, and then our offense versus their defense, man, it's going to be a challenge, but again, it's about being physical. It's about doing some of the things that we did the other night, being punished, making those guys not want anymore, being a punishing type offensive line, making sure we have some good composure about ourselves, whether we're up, whether we're down, just understanding the game plan, and we got to keep pounding at it like the other night. And so I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. But I am very confident that we're going to come out with the win. And here's the thing. I say all of that stuff because I want our kids to make the playoffs. I want us to make the playoffs as a team, as the Menard Eagles. And if we win, then we've got about an 82% chance of, and that's the exact number. I told our kids 80% today, but it's about 82% chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so.
And it doesn't matter if you're 20, 24, or 23 or whatever, as long as you're in that top 24.
Yeah, and
we
want to make the playoffs, and so.
And you got a chance.
We've got a chance, and so that's what we want, and that's what we're looking forward to. But overall, they're 2-7, we're 2-7. But you spoke to Faith earlier, so they're 2-8.
So yeah, and just in case folks don't get the wrong impression, of their record. I mean, they kind of should do the same thing when they look at ours with the teams that we've played.
Exactly.
All of the teams that are ranked in the top 10 in their respective classification, but teams that they've played: Denham Springs, Parkview Baptist, Loranger. I'm not sure.
Loranger. Yeah, very good.
You've got Southern Lab. So just some of these teams that that
Madison
they played.
Prep won 2 of the last 3 state championships.
Yeah. So I mean, those are the losses that they've had. So they're not playing slouches either. There's a reason they just get prepared for every game, and the kids just get tougher and tougher. So, we know we want the best for you guys, and we're looking forward to calling the game tomorrow night and coming back and riding back with a victory, because I get to ride back with y'all.
We're not taking the banner down. I'll just say that.
No, we're not going to take the banner down. I'm sorry I even said that.
We're not taking the banner down. Just telling you now.
No banner down. But tomorrow we will start our coverage at 6:45 for the pregame show. David Perkins will be back with us, so it'll be Perk and me, and we will be in the press box. Kickoff at 7, so be sure to join in to 446sports.com. Tell all your friends. Tell everybody who lives away, who can't get there, to turn us on and watch the game. And it should be a lot of fun. And for Coach Scully, for JC, Justin Charles, head coach, I'm Tom Boucher. This has been the Eagles Nest Coaches Show on 446sports.com.
Go Eagles.